right, we are recording. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today on Love, Life, and Relationships, we have Meg, which is a new caller, and then we have James. So Meg, how are you? Ladies first.
I'm just fine, thank you. How are you?
Amazing. I love to have you. Thank you for showing up. James, how are you?
I'm awesome.
Great to hear. Glad to hear that. So Meg, how's your day going today?
Oh, it's been awesome. I had a beautiful day.
Okay, I love that. James, yourself?
Good. It's working.
All right, so Meg, you're new to the channel, so could you introduce a little bit about yourself?
My name is Meg. I'm 59 years old. I'm divorced and living my best life.
Love it. James, you've been here a little bit. You've been giving us a lot of information. Would you just like to give us a little bit of a recap?
Yeah. I'm James. I've been married for 35 years. And it's time to live and make it.
All right, I love it. And I'm Ty. As y'all all know, I am 46, about to be 47 next week. I am separated in the middle of a divorce. And that's just what it is. I mean, we have conversations here on Love, Life, and Relationships about just in general the things that we're going through and how we're coping with it and how we're getting through it. I'm not nobody's therapist, not anyone's therapist for sure. Just talking about how things happen with me and maybe, looking forward to helping somebody else if I can. So right now we're about to get into the conversation and we're talking about how did we all, and each person could, kind of go over their scenario as to what happened. How do we get past dealing with other people's, I want to say mess, but I really want to say bullshit in a relationship?
Yeah.
Meg, would you like to go first, or James, you want to start first?
You can go first. It'll be fine.
Ladies first, Meg.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I don't have those problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't deal with people's foolishness. My life is plain and simple. I really don't have time or the patience. I think I'm too old to be dealing with anybody's foolishness. If you don't bring joy and happiness when you come, don't ring the doorbell.
Absolutely. Are you dating?
No, not really. I talk to a lot of people. I like to go to the casinos. I talk to a lot of people while I'm in the casinos. But at the end of the day, I like stability and security at my age.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I would not ask anybody to bring to the table something that I don't possess myself.
All right. Definitely. What made you guys divorce?
Me being an overachiever.
Okay.
I think that put a serious damper on it because his complaints used to be I didn't have to work as hard as I did. Well, truth be told, ain't nothing wrong with hard work because when you get old, that's what you live off of.
Absolutely.
And so, had I not pushed myself when I was younger, now that I'm older, I can sit home and live off a pension.
Right.
So I'm okay. And I don't see anything wrong with any age for a person to be a hard worker.
Right.
Anybody who tells you that you don't have to work, if you feed into the foolishness, just remember, everything don't last forever.
Absolutely. That's correct. James, how about yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, what she's saying, that was always my philosophy. I do work hard, and I try to play hard. And I try to be prepared. As we get older, we know we got to slow down some. But I'm planning to work I mean, I love my job, so I plan on working as long as they allow me.
Right.
I enjoy it. I mean, I can get out here and work. I just enjoy what I'm doing.
So you've been in a marriage for 35 years. And we've talked a lot about your situation and your happiness and really how you want to move forward on into life. So now, do you have a different mindset as to dealing with a person and the way they're trying to handle you, or dealing with a person and the situation that you seem to find yourself in right now?
Well, I do see a lot, since we've been talking and getting a little, getting to sit back and check myself. And I have not really truly just checked myself. I just, whatever, just go with it and just keep moving. But as I'm getting older, I'm seeing that, you're supposed to be a team. I knew that early in life, that if we're together, I want to be 100%. Right. I don't believe in, everybody be saying, oh, give 50%. But if you give 50%, you got 50 more percent. So what you going to do with the other 50%?
Right.
So I always gave 100, maybe 110%. Because I didn't like my family to go like it for nothing.
Right.
I remember when I first started driving, I was young then, and we didn't have a lot of money then. And I remember that so my kids and family could have, a lot of days I would just drink water and eat crackers or something, or buy a soda, didn't even eat, so that they could have what they wanted. But I started making, enough money where I didn't have to worry about that. I mean, it just started coming, everything flowing together.
Right. And
I just always just say, I need to save for them rainy days, because that sun ain't going to shine every day.
Right.
Yeah, and so I saved and worked, but my kids and family got whatever they wanted. All they do is stay it. I get it. Right. Even a lot of things they didn't even want, I just wanted them to have. So I just buy it. And so maybe a lot of stuff that happened, as I'm thinking, it might be a lot my fault, because I didn't hold them accountable. I would just go ahead and do it. If they didn't want to do it, I'd bump it out. I got to go ahead and make it done. Light bill need to be paid, and that was their responsibility, and they wouldn't do it, I'll pay it. And I'll give you a scenario. I used to pay the house payment, the car payment, the car insurance, and all she had to pay was the light bill, the water bill, and buy groceries. And she told me one time, the bills got, on her side, got behind. And she told me it wasn't fair. She wanted my bills. And then when I caught the bills up, then she wanted her bills back.
Wow.
And I didn't feel that was fair.
It wasn't.
But I did it anyway, because my kids was there, and I didn't want them to be where they didn't have lights, water. They have anything that they wanted.
Right.
So, and I guess that's when I laid the foundation, where she just always did what she wanted to do. So, I mean, if she don't want to do it, she wouldn't do it. I mean, up until now, and this maybe 30-some years later, I never knew what she made on her job. But I know she made good, but she had a good job. But me, I can go take my check, I throw it on the table. It don't matter, because I want to do the right thing by my family.
Right. So improper training along the way.
Right.
But because you wanted to make your family happy, then of course you would do those things. So me, myself, I am a person that loves to make people happy. So I'm like a fixer. I put things together, but that's one of my love languages. I like doing for other people. Maybe that was improper training also. I got put in an adult position at a young age. So, like I said, I've been taking care of people since I was 9. And right now, how I'm dealing with it is I'm going through a selfish phase. I want to do for me. I want to make myself happy. It's not now all about what everybody else wants. It's about what I want. And whether or not that makes people happy or sad, I don't give a fuck. And that sounds bad, but that's just where I'm at with it because I've done it long enough. To the tune of even now, sometimes I feel like even though I'm taking my freedom, it feels like at every turn and every chance they get, they want to either give me a pet, they want to give me somebody else's kid, they want to do, and I don't want it. And I keep telling people, if it eat and I got to feed it, I don't want it. Because I don't want to feed myself sometimes. I just want to be left alone to my own devices. No matter what it is that I want to do, I'm going to be okay. I don't need anybody trying to supervise me or I don't want it. I just don't want it. So now I'm creating healthy boundaries when it comes to my space. I like peace. And to me, people don't feel peaceful sometimes. And that's okay for their space, not for my space. Because my space, I'm going to create peace at all costs. Whether or not you got to get kicked out of the space or I got to disconnect you from my line space. However it is, you can't bring that in my direction. I just am not accepting it. So I'm trying to vibrate at a higher frequency. And I keep telling everybody about my celibacy. So we're going to talk about how sex kind of sometimes makes people feel entitled to you. So I'm not giving anybody that. My sexual energy right now, I put it on pause. I'm reserving it for later on when I decide that I may want to get married. Because at this point, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, or if y'all can say, you know, I honestly don't even know if I want to deal with a person right now because people come with so much bullshit. And that's not to say that there's not a good person that could be a good fit for me. It's just that I don't want to deal with that. When you have a man, you got to feed him. You got to care about the way he feels. You got to take time to just take time. And all I want to do right now is take time for myself because I've never had that. And today, Meg, you were on the phone, so you know about this already. Today, I met a person, and and this was a very nice looking gentleman and everything. Like, he kind of fit the bill. But at the end of the day, my first requirement, and the first thing I'm saying to people is, do you have kids? All my kids are older. I don't have anybody I have to take care of, this, that, and the third. So this person says that they have a 14-year-old. And the first thing that I told him is, everything fits except for the fact that I don't want anybody that has children right now because of the fact that that's not where I'm at. And I don't want to say that, okay, a person can't have kids, because you can have kids. I have kids. They're just a little older. And at this point, I'm not dealing with nobody's kids. I'm not dealing with nobody's childishness. I'm just not dealing with a lot of shit that people come with. And so that sounds bad, I guess. I don't know. But I really don't care. So, Meg, when you were married, how did you, do bills and that type of stuff?
We started out, and he paid the bills. I allowed him to do that until I seen that he couldn't do it.
Okay.
I live my life like bills don't have due dates. They come in the mail. Yes, there's a date on it, but that date is for utilities that you've already used.
Mm-hmm.
So since you already used them, go ahead and pay for it.
Right.
The bill will due when they come in the house.
Right.
That's how I've always been. And if he got behind by any given 3 of our bills, I don't care if it's the beginning of the month, the end, or the middle. If it's behind, that means you can't be responsible enough to know that you've already used that utility. And now that goes on your credit report.
Right.
And so, in order to maintain a certain standard that I set for myself, if you can't do it, then I'll do it myself. That way I'll know it's done. We had a joint account for our bills. We had an account he had and an account for me.
Mm-hmm.
So we were entitled to $500 a week apiece.
Okay.
And so everything over 500 of mine would go into the bills. Everything over 5 of his would go to the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And so since we basically both had good jobs, that was the simplest way.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a matter of us not having the money to pay the bills. It's a matter of you too lazy to sit at the table and write them out.
Oh, so he was just in charge of sending the bill out, not in charge of...
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, accounts were their own, because he had direct deposit, I had direct deposit. So the accounts was taken care of, but we always had the big checkbook that we hold on to the receipt so that we know what date and bill was sent out in case they said something was not paid. I could always go back in the book and find it. Oh, yeah, here's the receipt for it. We paid it on this day.
Right.
Until it got to the point where the bills wasn't paid, but the check was gone.
So what was happening with the check?
He was cashing the check, using it for him and his buddies to hang out with.
Oh, okay.
So you misappropriated our funds, so therefore, from now on, I'll take care of our funds so I know where they at.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So you sound like you believe in having multiple bank accounts for the marriage.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you have to.
James, how do you feel about that?
That sounds like the perfect thing to me. But when I tried that, the bills didn't get paid just like she said. But I'm driving, I'm over the road this before, you don't have where you can go and do it online and do all this.
Mm-hmm.
So the best thing that I had to make sure that it would happen, my mother, I know she was good with them because she took care of, everything when we was coming up when I was there. So when I tried my wife to pay the bills, if something didn't get paid, it's always late. I'm like, man, I like it to be paid. If it come out today, I want to pay it tomorrow. No one has the money.
Mm-hmm.
But she the type, she like to wait to the last day. Say like it's due on the 28th. She don't want to pay it till the 27th. And I keep telling her, if something happened, what you gonna do? If it now is your fault if the lights get cut off. But if you pay it at the first, when it coming out, it coming out on the first, they say how much it is, why not pay it? We got the money. But
Right.
it never would happen. So I had to do what I had to do. And I let my mother start paying. And she didn't like that. I even put the extreme, look, I make more money than she made. But let's put it all in one account. And just like you were saying, Miss Mac, is you have an account, I have an account, and then we'll have an account to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't do it. She never would do it.
So I got a question.
Because I let my mother do it.
Do you think that your wife was just irresponsible, or what do you think her reasoning behind that was?
I just think, the way she was brought up, just pay everything late. But I wasn't brought up that way. I was brought up, pay it now. Why not?
Well, you also said you were giving her the money and she still wasn't paying them as well.
Wasn't paying.
So it sounds like both of y'all had the same experience. Me, myself, I've never had a guy, I'm always responsible for writing out the checks or, making sure the bills get taken care of. They may give me money, and in the last relationship, he didn't do any of that. I paid the bills. The dude probably don't even know what type of bills we had or what company it was. And the money was being made from my trucking company that everybody knows I had for forever and a day. So it was almost like bringing home the bacon and frying it up in the pan. And that person, I didn't think anything of it, being as though that person, we've had a history. And so, but now I see where that was a problem, period. Because that person kind of manipulated a whole situation and then lied about it. So to each his own, but I know that the next relationship, I would rather have multiple bank accounts, but even with that person, I put his name on one of my accounts. He didn't want me to see what was going in the account, and I was giving that person money, and now that's actually coming back to be a thing because they asked me how much money I gave this person outside of, general stuff, and I gave this man lots of money, but I didn't know that I'm supposed to keep a record of the amount of money that I was giving to my husband. You see what I'm saying? That makes no sense.
Right.
But it makes sense now after you're in the middle of a divorce and they're questioning what type of money you gave this person. That's weird. Because I didn't think that I would be in the middle of a divorce. This is a person that I really, really loved. So why would I need to keep a record or an account of money that I was exchanging with my partner? So there's a lot of things that kind of don't make sense. But now it's like, in hindsight, it's almost like you literally gotta make sure that everything is being documented. There's some lies being told, and it's just a tactic. And that's the thing where I'm saying, like, when you go through separations, James, you're not there yet, or maybe, I don't know, but when you go through separations with a person, it's so funny how the love changes. Because even with this person, I didn't even realize me and this person was here. Like, I didn't realize that. Because that person was my best friend, I thought that it would be easy. Okay, you don't want to be here. You want to be somewhere else. I didn't know that there would be lies and manipulation and a whole nasty type energy that would come with it. But to me, even with that, I'm just not giving life to that. Because a person wants you to fight them. A person wants you to argue with them. They want you to, like, I don't care. Meg, did you have an issue when you were separating with it having to be nasty? Because why does it have to go to the nasty version?
No, because when I said it, I packed my stuff and I left.
So it was a simple, easy split, and
that was easy for me.
For me, I just felt like I'm the one worked and I'm the one paid for it. When she took her check, I'm thinking she's going to save her money so when we get older, we would have a bigger nest egg. But every time you talk to her, she swears she don't have nothing. So, and I feel, why should I have to give up what I worked so hard for?
right.
And that was the battle that I had all these years. I mean, been going back maybe 10, 15 years about who's going to leave. And I'm saying, why should I leave? And I'm the one paying for it.
Right.
And so I did leave one time, and it was about a year. And she swear she wanted us, so we're going to the bank, just put your name, and I'll walk away. She would never do it, so I'm not even living there, but I got to make a house payment because it's in my name. She's not going to pay it.
Right.
So if she don't pay it, it's against my credit.
But
so
she didn't want to move out?
No. Say she wasn't. Now she says she'll leave, but at first she said, you leave. I'm not going nowhere.
So why didn't she put it in her name? If you offered to give it.
In her name.
No, you said you
she
would.
Won't take it.
Yeah, you said you would let her have it. So why wouldn't she go and put it in her name if you don't want to leave and you're saying, okay, well, I'll give it to you. I'm going to just leave. You just got to put it in your name. Why do you think she wouldn't do that either?
Because she don't want to make the payment. She want to give it to her, I guess.
Is it that she wouldn't make the payment, or would the bank have a problem with turning it over to her?
Yeah, but see, I told her to go to the bank and see what they put it in her name, whatever. And she just, to run around, like everything else, run around. And it never would happen. I said, well, if you're not going to do it, why don't you just go ahead and leave, and then we won't even have the problem. If I'm going to pay for it, I'm the one need to be living in it. But I didn't live there for a year, but I made that payment. She didn't make but 2 payments in a year, and I'm still made all the house payments. And like I told her, we supposed to get it so I put the house in my mother's name, but the loan was in my name. So I still was making the rent to my mother to make the house payment. Because, I mean, I don't want to be left in the cold. If you're not going to do your part, why should you deserve it? Like I told her retirement, she worked for that. I don't want it. Right. That's what she worked for. So if you want to get out there and do it right. If you're going to do it right, do it right. If you plan to get over on a person, just be up front. Look, I just want what you got.
Exactly.
James just said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I just heard a lot. And I'm a little confused by a lot. Because when you got that house, were y'all married?
Yes.
Okay, illegal all day. When you got the house, y'all were married. Financially, you took care of the house, but because of what reason is that house in your mother's name?
It was because we had just came, I had left because she didn't want to work together. This is the second house. So I seen how she was acting with the first house. She couldn't get that because I had it before we was married.
Uh-huh.
And so her mother, one time, they said she was entitled to my house just because she was there. We weren't married then. But so I know when we got married and I had left and I come back, I always wanted to build a house. So I had this land. It was in my mother's name. And I built the house on this land. But I said if she didn't come with me to work with me 50% to do this house, I would put this house in my mother's name. And I got a better rating on the house with it in my mother's name. So, and I told her, I could put it in your name, me and your name, and we're going to do everything together. So that way there, I won't say it's my house, and you can't say it's your house, it'll be our house.
Right.
But
it didn't happen that way.
Where are you at?
Huh?
Where do you live at?
South Carolina.
Okay, you do realize that's still her house, right?
Yeah. Well, it was will to me.
It can't be will to you if you purchase a house within a marriage.
Yeah, but
he said he purchased it in his mom's name, and so his mom purchased the house, not him.
So your mother purchased the house, and then your mother gave you the house.
His mother purchased land, and he built the house.
I was a little confused by that.
Right.
Okay, so actually, your regardless of who paid the payment, the house was actually doctored in your mom's name.
Right.
Okay. All right, because I was a little confused.
But the funny part is he's saying he's not even beefing about the house, that if she wants it, she can have it. Just go put it in your damn name and pay for it.
But she may not be able to, because that was our situation. When we got a divorce, I didn't want anything. I just wanted that because I knew I was going to be okay regardless.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to court for the divorce, Wyoming Bank stepped in and said, no, ma'am. Wyoming Bank said they wouldn't transfer the house over to him because he couldn't afford the house anyway. Now, even though he had a good job, he also had a foreclosure that hadn't expired past the 10-year mark.
Okay.
And so when it was time for us to do a settlement on a house, I was willing to walk off and leave the house and everything in it. But the bank said no. And so since I had to have it, I went home and put a for sale sign in the front yard.
Right.
Because I still didn't want it.
Which is understandable.
And so the thing that I kind of like wanted to ask you, James, in watching your first video, I'm still trying to figure out when is James going to make James happy.
I'm ready now. I am. I'm ready now. I am ready. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. I came to the conclusion, if I have to lose everything, I'm going to still gain it back.
Yep.
Because I did it. And you know, I didn't look at it like that. I just looked at, look, this is what I do. God blessed me to do this. And you know, sitting and thinking and listening, what's from me, it can't nobody take from me now.
That's a fact.
And that's what I'm learning. You know, it took a lot of years, but I'm learning that now.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And it don't have to be about nobody, you know, but me. Like I said, my kids are grown. I do have a granddaughter I look out for. But outside of that, I mean, I got more grandkids I look out for, but that's my little one down there. But it's time for me to be happy. And I guess that's just my spirit. I don't really like to hurt nobody.
But you hurt
yourself. No matter
yourself.
what the situation, right.
And that's something that we all go through, actually, because being a good person, sometimes you have a healthy fear of God. And you want to do things the right way, even when people are doing you the wrong way. But sometimes we have to put our foot down and say, enough's enough. James was telling me a story earlier today that, James, I would like for you to kind of tell. And only because I've never known for anybody to do this. You know what story I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, I just thought about it. At first, I was going to ask you what, and then I remember.
All right, can you tell us the story?
Yeah. Well, it was in January, about 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years ago. I found out she was cheating. And I didn't know she was cheating. She just wanted to go on vacation, she said, with some of her friend girls. And she was helping me with my mother. My mother was sick. And I felt it was good that, you know, she gonna get a break. And when she left, you know, everything didn't click. It wasn't clicking. And I'm a little nosy, but anyway, I've got a little nosy and I see stuff in a suitcase that shouldn't even be in it. So I asked her, you know, why would you blame this with some girls? What y'all, I mean, what's going on? You know, she said, you know, women thing.
James, what was in there? What was in there? Tell us what was in there.
Yeah, it was negligence. You know, those sex toys. No, negligence. You know, there's all kind of negligence. I know, James. And that wasn't for me. You guys ever sleep? But you ain't done that all the time with me, so why you wearing this man? You know, that's what I'm feeling. But anyway, I didn't kick it too much. I let her do what she was going to do. And, so, you know, usually before one of us leave, we always have sex or something. But this particular day, she was doing all she could to stay away from it for some reason. You know what I'm thinking? And when I went to drop her off, I said something about it. Because, you know, I can't hold it. I can't hold water when it comes to stuff like this. So I told her, no, where was that? She said, well, come on, I'll do it. I said, no, we ain't going to do that. Nobody else's house. I don't know these people like that. So anyway, she went on the trip, and I'm working, and I don't hear nothing from her for about a day and a half. I say, something might be done happen. Let me try to call her. She won't answer the phone. And just started checking, and found out some boy, I guess he had been talking to, his number come up. And found out he got her to call. And anyway, when they come back, she swear that she wasn't with nobody. So before she came back, something just told me, you know, you watch Maureen and talking about that lie detector. I said, well, I'm gonna see if I can find one. So I got on the phone and I asked the phone about where's a lie detector company in our area. And I called the guy. And the guy started telling me, you know, it's real. You know, I just tried it. And so when he said she gonna probably say, if she in the room, she gonna say she not gonna do it. And she said that in the beginning. And I told her, I said, that's what the guy say you gonna say. So she said, well, I agree, I'll go. And he said she don't think she can come and beat it. And the questions, when before we got up there first, she said, let me tell you something. I did cheat. But it wasn't but one time. So I said, okay, if it was one time, okay. I said, but we don't go. And so we went to the place, and the guy came in the room first, and he asked me, what do I want to know? And I told him. And he said he carried her in the room, and they was in there maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. And he come back in, and he started reading what, you know, the questions that I told him to ask, and the stuff and everything. She told him, when she came back to me, she said she didn't say it. Like to say they had sex at one time. He said she said they had sex 10 times. Yeah.
What else did you ask her?
I asked him about, was she, and I forgot what it was, man. I don't want to lie. I asked her about, you know, was the kids mine? You know, because when we had the kids, we wasn't there. And come to find out, she said she didn't know. But when we come back in the room, she said she didn't tell him that they was mine. And so, I mean, I still don't know, because, you know, back in the day, you didn't, well, down here, you didn't do the lie detector. I mean, what is it? DNA.
Mm-hmm. Dana.
Yeah, well, Dana, it wasn't common, and if you did do it, was like $3,000 or $4,000. It was high. And back then, before I was driving, I couldn't afford it. And so I just didn't never know. But I did question it a lot. And so, but there's a whole lot of stuff. It do work, man, I'm telling you. When she kept walking out the door, so I didn't say, the man said, you didn't say that.
I wouldn't know how she thought she was going to tell that man what she did or she did not say when he was administering the test. That was crazy.
Right. Not, like he said, people try to make it right on their behalf.
Well, I told him when he told me that story earlier, I was cracking up because I said I've never known anybody that actually called somewhere to get somebody a lie detector test. Like, that was kind of, okay, I wouldn't have never thought that. Like, okay, you said that, now let's go take this lie detector test.
There you go.
I want to find out where those type of companies are so that way I can, no, I'm just joking. Look, see, already setting somebody up.
Yeah.
Oh, you lying.
But it did work. I mean, it's worth, I think it was worth to find out. Okay. Now, so one question. What was the end goal after the lie detector test? I mean, it just, but you know, she started talking that, you know, about what happened when she was young, you know. And I mean, I went with it, and I had to, you know, have some kind of mercy to say, you know what, if this is what you feel that had to happen, you probably need some help to get through it. And I said, well, that's when I told her, look, let's go to counseling and find out, you know, what we need to do to make this thing right. That was a good idea, because that's what I heard. When you said that, that's why I asked you what was the end goal. Because to me, it didn't matter whether it was 1 time, 10 times, 20 times. Because she told you about the time before she took the lie detector test. So were you using the lie detector test as a tool just so you can have open communication? And if so, then that is something that should have happened in a therapy office. Yeah, but see, she didn't say that she kept denying that she did anything until we get ready to walk out the door to go to the lie detector.
Yeah, that's what I said. So if she admitted to you before you got to the test, it wouldn't have mattered what they said on the test, because, I mean, she already told you. But did you want to continue on for communication purposes?
Yeah, I mean, I know if we get the truth, then we could go get the counsel. Like I'm telling you, if you got a problem, you need to get some help to try to find out. Even with me, if I got a problem, I don't have a problem to say, come on, let's go get some tests. And I'll be honest with you. I told her one time that I had a problem with women. If I called you and telling you I'm having a moment that I want to go mess up, don't tell me that's what I want to do. Because if that's what I wanted to do, I just go do it and wouldn't say nothing. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to hurt the relationship. So one time I did call her, and she said, "Why would you want to do this to me?" And that eased everything. I didn't have no more that wasn't in my heart to do. After that, so I feel if you communicate and talk, it don't matter how bad it might be. If you can talk about it and you can try to work together with it, you can achieve it.
And that's true.
Because the thorn in people got thorns in them that they can't let go. And they do need to have somebody they can reach out to help them to get through it.
And that's true. That's why you go to counseling, because counselors are designed to help you try to pull everything together. And even right now, like, still, you are always saying, because we talked about you having closure, and I'm like, sometimes you're just not going to get closure on certain situations. We just got to be okay with them for what they are and move on.
Well, is it salvageable now if y'all go to counseling?
I think we've been doing it so long. It's just time for it to end.
Right.
I really do. I think it's time to end because it'll start off like now. You know, I've been saying something about I'm ready to go ahead and leave. Now she acts like she's the perfect wife. But then it'll go on for about 2 or 3 weeks. And after that, it starts going back the other way.
So she's good under threats.
Right. Huh. But I don't feel why do I need to threaten the person that you love? Why can't you just do it? I mean, if she come and say, I need you to do this, I'm going to get it done.
Are you an over-the-road driver or overnight?
Well, I was overnight. Here lately, I've been over the road. Now, this last time happened, I was overnight. I was being home every day.
Okay, and over the road right now, do you think you could trust her?
I don't have a choice.
Oh, we all got choices, honey.
No, because, wait a minute. I'm not going to sit and worry myself on what she doing while I'm gone. I mean, she did it, when I was gone. She did it when I was home. I'm not going to I have some friends, they go get in the dumpster and looking out and trying to see what the girl's doing. I'm not doing all that. It's not worth going and get in trouble to try to watch and see what she's doing. Be up all night, driving, worrying about what she's doing. I'm not going to do that. That's the choice I make, that I'm not going to do it, regardless of whatever she do. That's between her and her God.
Yes.
I know what I'm going to do.
Yes.
And I did cheat, and I put it on her because I thought I was getting back at her. And that still wasn't the right thing to do.
Right.
I have to do the right thing at all costs.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, at least you're man enough to admit to it. That's the first step. That's a good sign. If you're going to do something, just go and admit to it. Because worst case scenario is, okay, she might not like it, but at the end of the day, there's a respect level that people who walk around just telling the truth deserve.
Right.
And so she can't say you made up a bunch of lies, you know. If you're honest about it, you're honest about it. And now that gives the other person choices and options.
Right.
Right. That's what I tell them.
You don't have a choice because you do have choices and options. It's up to you what you do with your life.
But see, that's what I learned. I'm not gonna sit and have to worry about what she doing. And like I try to tell her, for me to forgive you, that don't mean I have to be with you. She think if I forgive her, I should just forget everything ever happened and just keep living. And I'm telling her, I can forgive you, but that don't mean I want to be with you.
But see, she has to also know that forgiveness is not for another person. Forgiveness is for yourself.
Right.
When you forgive her, that is bringing peace to yourself. That's something you don't push off of you. You don't have to deal with it no more. You're not talking about it no more. So that relieves the pressure off of you.
Right.
It doesn't change nothing she did. Because what's done is already done.
Right. But she ain't going to talk about, like I asked her, okay, she said the guy, he good conversation, he all this. Well, tell me what y'all talked about so maybe we can have a conversation like that.
Yeah. I mean,
she'll say no. She'll say, well, I can't talk to you because you think you're right about everything. Or you think you know everything. It ain't that I know. I try to, before I come to you and say something, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. I'm going to try to find out the common ground so that it'll work perfect. If we're doing it together and you're not taking what I have, but you're saying you don't want it, just like with the land, she going to tell me I bought this land. My mother went and borrowed the money for me to get this land. She said she couldn't help me because my mother seen it first. I said, but you was the one that's profiting from this. It don't matter who seen it first. It's just like, I said, well, you make the last, I have a 2 more car payment. I said, but I can pay this land off in 6 months. 20 acres of land, I'll pay it off in 6 months. If you take this car payment, for 2 months, the car be paid off. Next thing I know, the people call and tell me, we ready to repo your car. For 2 months. So I still paid the land off and I paid the car. Now, you tell me, what did I do wrong?
Some people, there are people in this world that's just pure irresponsible. And so that's why the question earlier was around when the bills are due, how they get paid. That's why it's important that bills are paid when they come in the house, because sometimes life get in the way and we forget.
Right.
Or other things come up and we use the money for something we shouldn't have used it for. And so, I don't know. I'm really big on responsibilities.
And I am too.
And
I feel if something needs to get done, like if the light bill come in on the 1st, why you going to wait till the 28th to pay it? That's the cutoff day.
No.
I don't like doing that.
No, I try to teach my sons the same thing. You don't have a due date on your bill. He was always quick to say, well, it ain't due until this date. You do realize you used the electric bill last month. Right. That ain't going forward. That ain't your January bill. That's your December bill. You used them services you pay for. And so, what do you do for fun? I mean, what do y'all do? Y'all still vacation?
Well, it's been maybe a year, maybe about 2 years since we went. anywhere. We used to go to the beach, go to the mountains, stuff like that. Go do something. But now me, I can just get on my motorcycle. That's fun for me. And just ride. Just turn on the radio and just ride. And dude, sometimes she do ride with me.
Never.
You ain't never rode a motorcycle?
I would never.
You would with the right person.
No, my husband had one. Never. I need no protection. I need door windows.
No, well, I would have to buy a 3-wheeler then, so you can't get in.
No, you gotta buy a car.
Well, it's like a car. You done seen them slingshots? They got the 2-seat
straps with the 2-seater with the one little wheel in the front and the 2 big wheels in the.
Those are actually nice.
In the front and the little 1 wheel in the back. Yeah. My neighbor had one.
You don't like those either? You don't like them?
No, I need to be closed in. I need a car.
You ain't be closed in.
I'm 60. You turn it over, I break my hip. I'll never recover.
Well, I'm 61.
And you bust a hip, you ain't gonna recover either. So.
I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna jump up that hill. That hip gonna be healed.
Okay, we can win it.
I'll claim it. What do you like to do for fun?
I like to work in the yard, tell you the truth. I'm a gardener. I plant flowers, I plant vegetables. Go casino, go fishing.
Oh, yes, and that's my favorite there, too, now.
He is always talking about fishing. He's always talking about taking his fishing rods to the ponds and stuff.
Oh, okay. Fish. Do you ever go on them fish boats?
Yeah, I go deep sea fishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think next month a couple friends hooking up so we can go deep sea fishing. I just bought me a deep fish fishing rod down when I was in Florida a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love fishing.
Where you going fishing at?
We're going to go down by Myrtle Beach, Cherryville, North Carolina, and go out. And we'll go out to the Gulf Coast. Go out there for a full day. I don't like doing half a day because you don't catch much.
So would y'all consider that to be a good date?
What, fishing?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, yes. You ain't got no time to communicate. You can talk all day and we're going to fish.
And then just come to say something about that. I told her, I say, when I go deep sea fishing, if she go with me, she'll go down to, when we go to Myrtle Beach, she'll go down there, but she'll go shopping or doing whatever she gonna do. I said, why don't you just come out on the water? You don't have to fish. You can bring a book, anything, as long as we're doing it together.
Right.
She won't do it.
Yeah, oh, you need 2 lawns here. You got plenty of time to talk while you're fishing.
Well, she won't talk.
Well, one of the things I keep telling him is she keeps displaying behavior that says she don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
She don't really want to be with him because his time, she don't want to spend time with him.
Right.
And that's sad because it's almost like if you don't really want to spend time with a person, you should tell them.
Okay, you know how you could tell? Whatever her favorite thing is, plan that. Whatever her favorite trip is, plan that trip. When you plan the trip, though, make sure when you purchase the ticket, you do a refundable insurance on that, because she ain't going.
She like to go on vacation now. She love that part.
That's what I'm saying. She might love to go on vacation, but are we vacationing with other people? Are we vacationing with other family members, other friends, anybody except for you? And so plan a vacation for just you and her. When you buy that flight, make sure you insure it so you can get your money back. Because that is to go to find out whether or not you're going to have to collect your money back.
Well, he actually kind of knows that too, because James, you talked about one other time when y'all were on vacation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know we went on vacation. It was on a cruise. In fact, it happened twice. We went on a cruise. And I'm telling her, even though we're going with a group, I want it to be about me and her.
Uh-huh.
I want, if they want to go shopping, I might just want to just be just me and her. Just go ride on a boat or something. Just do something, just me and her, without everybody. And one time we was down at we went on a cruise, I think to the Bahamas. And I'm telling her I want to just be me and her. So when we go off the boat, I thought about that thing. I said, I'm telling her, I don't want to go with people. I want to just be me and her. I turned around, went back to the room. She went on with them.
And he even made note that she didn't even notice that he was gone.
That's right. Then she gonna say, "Oh, I know you go." I said, "Well, how do you know if something didn't happen to me? Why didn't you come back and check to see what was what?" I knew you was okay.
If nothing else, you have a very high tolerance level. I can tell you that. Because it seems like you're tolerating a whole bunch of foolishness.
Yeah.
And it's only because there has been multiple red flags in this conversation. And I'm not sure why you recognize them as red flags, but you're not doing anything about it.
Right.
He was
That's
comfortable.
why I always messed up. Right. Because I go to work, like I said, I can go to work and I don't have to deal with it. When I come back, I don't have to deal with it. I can come and go get on my motorcycle and ride, or I can come and just sit back and watch TV. I love watching movies, so I can go in there and watch me about 20, 30 movies a weekend, at least 5 or 10. I exaggerate a little bit. But about 5 or 10 movies. And next thing you know, it's time to go to work. 1 or 2 o'clock, I don't care if I got to be there at 9, 10, 1, 2. I'm leaving in the morning at 2 o'clock.
Right. So, Meg,
So
man,
I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, and that's one thing when you don't have to deal with a situation.
You don't have to deal with it, but at the same time, you have to deal with it.
Yep.
Right.
Because he's dealing with it.
Directly or indirectly.
Right.
That's still your wife. And so you're still together. Therefore, you still go through the same thing she's going through. The only difference is you're in a different place going through the same thing because you know you got to come home sooner or later.
That's a fact. Well, on another note, Meg, you and I had a conversation earlier today that I thought was very important and made a lot of sense. So, after you were divorced and in a situation, we were talking about a conversation that you was having with somebody else, which was about relationships and the way husbands come across to basically about being embarrassed to your wife, okay? Being like embarrassing.
I have a friend that when I first met them, he was living in a different place. She was living in a different place. They were still married, but he calls it separation. Okay. Married but separated to me is separated. Why? Because if you move into a whole different location, as far as I'm concerned, you're no longer married to that person. You're no longer in the marital home. But there is still a respect level that goes with that home. And so he would always run around, do what he wanted to do. And one day he told me that she allows him to do what he want to do, how he want to do it, and she don't ask no question. So I told him, that's a good woman. That's the best woman you ever done yet. Because I don't know of no woman that is going to allow a man to run around like that unless y'all just friends or y'all just companions. Because when it comes to marriage, ain't no wife gonna let her husband do what he want to do, how he want to do it. I was telling him that I felt that there is the difference between a way a person acts in a marriage and the way they conduct themselves outside of a marriage. And that's why I said there is no such thing as cheating outside of a marriage, because you're free to do whatever you want with whoever you want to do it with. But I felt that he disrespected his wife on every turn when you blatantly do that stuff like that in the streets. Now, his wife is a retired military woman, and we know the prestige and respect that goes along with military families. And so for him to be part of that military family and her done been in the military for 26 years, there's a lot of people higher up in ranks that know them that this is what your husband is displaying. And I just find it to be ill-mannered and disrespectful.
And it is.
Yeah.
And men don't stop to look when you hanging out and gallivanting with another woman out in the street, like you being like wide open with it. That's embarrassing. And then because the woman's a good woman, she decided to take you back, but now she looks stupid. And it don't really matter about how other people feel about it, but it still really matters. It does matter. Because if you love her, why would you embarrass her like that?
Right.
And so it just comes off like men think that it's okay to be flighty because it's a man thing. So I'm allowed to have as many women as I want to. I'm allowed to do what I want. I'm allowed to go shake dick here and there. That's not cool. If you love somebody, you don't treat them like that. You don't make them look like that. So it's weird to me how a man will say, oh, I love her, but this will be the same woman that take you back 9,000 times after you cheat. Why are you embarrassing her like that? And then at some point in time, the women got to see you embarrassing yourself. You taking this little low-life ass nigga back, you embarrassing yourself. Because he don't care about you.
And that's why what we was talking about earlier, it all ties together with men and women. You can always tell when somebody wants to be in your presence because they'll show you they want you there. But if you have somebody that walks through the house and walks past you sitting in a room and you can't open your mouth, they don't want to be bothered with you. You wake up in the morning and you can't even open your mouth and say good morning. Really?
Yeah.
That would be hard for me to live with.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. But I'm going to say on a man's behalf, because I am a man, and I'm listening to what y'all saying, but you got to realize with men that along the way, even though he might have a good woman now, and he doing that too, but what have he went through?
It don't matter.
I mean,
bad behavior is bad behavior.
Wait a minute. I'll let y'all say it. Okay, what if, I mean, you might think she might be a good woman, just like with mine, she don't want nobody to know what she doing, but what he doing, he just doing it out there.
Well, that's my
point.
point.
We on the outside looking in. What if she doing all of this stuff undercover?
Well, that's my point. That's my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. She's not embarrassing his ass. He's being fucking embarrassing because of the fact that...
Wait a minute. embarrassed. A man is embarrassed. If another man touch his woman, that's the worst thing you can do to a man.
Well, why don't they act like it? Because keep your hands to yourself.
Okay, if he started out keeping his hands to himself, and then he get with a woman, and then she's not being faithful to him, then he get with another woman, she's not faithful to him. What do you see? He feel in his heart, just like I did, it ain't no woman faithful.
But that's not true. Every person is an individual.
I mean, wait a minute. I feel what y'all saying. I know what you're saying, that you can't judge every book.
But that's what you say. That's what you're saying. Every book just got judged.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, that's how he's feeling.
But you just said you can't judge every book.
You're right. I know that. But as you going through life, you learn. You learn a lot of things. But when you're young, you don't know a lot of things. Just like me, for instance. I can use me. When I grew up, my grandparents owned a store. I used to help run the store. So when I got at 16 years old, the old men let me drive their car to take them because they drink. So they married. They got girlfriends. So I'm taking them to go see their girlfriend. What impression you think that put in a young boy like was of my age then? What you think that put in my mind?
Bad behavior. Bad behavior.
But that's what you're saying. No, that ain't what you're saying. Now, that's not what I heard earlier. What I heard earlier, you said your grandparents raised you, right? Right. I'm saying, but when I ran the store and I carried these old men to go see their girlfriends. Yeah, but you know, my granddad, I never seen him cheat. Never. Or my grandmother. So that's the example that you should be looking at.
Exactly.
Okay, when I seen that example from them, that's why when I got married, I mean, when the woman that I felt that I supposed to marry, it would be based on that we would love. My grandmother wasn't a day that she got up and she didn't make sure my granddaddy was taken care of. And he did the same thing. Every single day, I know for over 20-some years that I seen. And that's what I based it on. But then when I started getting out there and I'm driving the old men around and I'm messing with these girls and I see how they cheating on, like I have a girl, she'll go cheat with somebody else. So I felt in my heart, there ain't too many women out there that will be faithful.
So you made a generalized statement.
Women do the same. I mean, a lot of women do the same thing.
A lot of women.
A lot of them don't be faithful.
But you said
I need to hear y'all talk tonight. It give me a better outlook because it give me hope that, when you say, well, I'm being celibate, I can be to myself. I can take care of myself. I've been true to myself. That helps me to see now that all women is not the same. They're not. It is women out there that's trying to do right.
There's a lot of women trying to do right. There's a lot of men trying to do right. That would be saying like all men cheat. I don't believe all men cheat. I don't believe that.
Right.
I believe a lot of them cheat though.
Yep. And I feel the same way. But I do see now, I do hear it, that it is women that's doing the right thing. They is got their purses back. But to have it to say myself, I can't say that. Because I never had it. I got friends that, not even, one, he just got a divorce. But before he got married, that he be, just be talking in general. Oh, my girl massaged my back. She massaged my feet. I walk in the house, she treat me like a king.
That's the way it's supposed to be when he's acting like a king.
Right.
If you acting like a peasant and you embarrassing me, we're gonna have to talk about this. You're going to need to go
But the
your way.
key
I'm going to need to go
word
my way
is-
because this is not what that's supposed to be.
But that's why you have to talk. If you communicate, you're gonna know what each other like and what they don't like.
Well, I think that's when it starts early on. So most of the
Right.
time you meet a person, y'all hit it off, people send a representative. And the representative is lying their ass off saying, oh, I'm such a good person. Oh, I do this. Oh, I do that. And then guess what you find out? Soon as you do, and this is where sex comes in at. Because that's why I said I'm not for that. Because soon as you have sex with a person, then all of a sudden the ex-girlfriend come out the woodwork. The fucking mom he's a mama's boy. It's a lot of shit that basically you end up finding out that, hold on, I can't take my pussy back. And I be wanting to take it back.
Yeah.
That's
And
when
I
I
mean,
wish
I
I never
feel
let
you.
you touch it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you on that, but I just feel if you communicate like I tell my boys now, you know, I feel I'm a man now. But when I was younger, I was still a boy, but I was in a man body.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell them, the best thing to do is wait till you get married. Don't worry about the sex. Get to know that person.
Yes.
Inside and out. Now, that's how I feel now. And I tell my grandkids that, look, you got all your life to do the sex part. But make sure you know the right person you talking to. Is this person want you for your body, or do they want you for love?
Most of them want you for your body.
90% of man, when he first meets you, yeah.
And you know what
And
we was talking
sometimes
about?
attract you to him.
Yeah, but you don't need to give it like right away. And you know what we was talking about STDs and, you know, talking about sex first, like the do's and the don'ts and the ins and outs of like what you like and what you don't like as far as sex is concerned. And then we started talking about the guy having HIV and some other stuff. And you said people shouldn't give somebody something that they're not, you know, they didn't tell you that you have this disease or, you know, this, that, and the third. And then it made me think after I listened to it, I said, but people do that all the time because you know what? People have sex and then a bitch come out pregnant and I just gave you a baby that you ain't want.
Right.
Because the dude, and that's true, because the dude will say, I don't want no baby. And the woman will still have the baby.
Right.
But
and now
guess,
he's tired for the rest of their life.
but the guy could have actually wrapped that thing up and then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
No, the best thing should have been held out.
Yeah,
Just wait.
exactly.
That's the key right there, is to wait.
Yes, that's a fact. But you know, that's like hindsight. Now you know that after you're older.
Right.
Initially, when you're young, you start off with the other thing, bending it
Right.
over.
That's on the head thinking. That's right. The other head say, go get her. At all costs. And now, 35 years later, how you feel about that? Yeah, I wish I had waited. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I know it would have been a bigger and a better outcome. Because, you know, I think women don't think guys like that romance part. But if they don't, I know I do. I like for you to walk over there and hold my hand or rub my back. I say, let's go hold hands and walk through the forest. I would love to do that.
You believe everything happens for a reason?
Oh, yeah. It's a learning experience. Yeah.
Okay, do you believe that God orders your steps?
Yes.
Okay, so could you believe that the course of 35 years was a lesson, and what did you think you should have learned by now out of it?
That make sure I listen to who he sends for me than who I pick for me. And listen and do the way he want me to do it. And I mean, I do pray every day. And even when I was young, I still pray. But I did do a lot of things I shouldn't have done, and I just missed out on the things that he was showing me.
I mean, we all do
But I
it.
mean, I knew early on that I shouldn't have been married to her. Like you say, it was signed before we even got married. And it was. I mean, and you was right. But I got tied up in it. I mean, this is where we at 35 years later.
I mean, I'm not in it, so I don't know. But I'm sitting here trying to figure out 35 years is a long time.
That's what I said.
Now, it's a long time to be in a situation, sometimes more sad than happy. Is that fair to say? Do y'all have more good times out of the 35 years than bad? Is that why you holding on to?
Now, we do have some good times. It just mostly is the times when she don't want to communicate. Long as I'm doing, I guess, whatever need to be done for, there's nothing to be said. I mean, I guess I've been doing it so long, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that.
Are you on good terms now?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
And you can't build from today? I mean, you got to think about it like this. Every day you get up, that's a new day.
Right.
Every day you get up, you can start anew. And so if you're on good terms now, is it possible for you to hold on to the good things, and when things start turning, can you kind of like stop and recalibrate and start from the last good moment you had and try to move forward from that point, opposed to getting into a rut of everything is bad?
Yes, I can do that. I mean, I have did it, so I know I can do that.
And James is a bit of an instigator because he might be on good terms, but we don't know if she's going to be on good terms anytime soon. Because he actually sent her, and I keep trying to tell him, he a little messy sometimes. So what he did was he sent her a video from our show, from this show, but he sent her the video of another person. So I don't know if she actually looked into what he was sending her, like, to realize that the majority of the clips that are on the show right now is him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he, we know each other. He's free with calling in and, we talk. So once she realizes some of the things that he said, I was thinking, that lady gonna bust your head to the white meat. But I laughed because what he said was, I didn't tell no lies. So as long as I told the truth, I can say what I want to say. And it made sense.
I don't know. I'm thinking it could be a good thing because it could lead to open dialogue. But my question would be is, why go in a roundabout way to get her to watch, opposed to when you get home and there's downtime? I met this girl and she has a podcast. How about if we just listen and y'all sit there together and listen, because then that's when the communication can start. So instead of doing it in a roundabout way, guiding her to somebody she don't know nothing about, which when I do that, I can halfway through it say I don't feel like listening to it and I'm done. But if you took her and set her down and let her listen to it while you're right there, then that could be an open dialogue. It could be a good thing.
Well, he did say that today. He actually did say that.
Yeah. And I started it, me and her together riding, coming from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But once we got further out, we don't have a signal going home. And so when we got home, it was time for me to go to bed because I had to get up the next morning about 2 to go to work.
But he didn't play her.
I'll finish it this week. I'll do it this weekend. Ain't no problem.
But he didn't play her his part. He played her somebody else's
I'm
part.
going to let it leave from there and go to the next one. It hit the mind. I'm going to let it come to, I let her do the first one, and then I let it go to mine. I know mine on there. I listen to all of them. So I said I'm going to let it come around so that she can hear. I mean, even though we did go to therapy one time, where there was more than one, you know, this 1 year. And the white woman, you know, because me, I don't mind. I can tell you how I feel. It don't matter red, white, or blue. And I'm telling this woman, and the white lady, I mean, she kind of was, she said, I don't see how it lasts so long, but you could build from it. But y'all got to, you know, you can't be talking to nobody else. And I say, that's fair. And then the woman tried to flip with me, tell me because I have a habit of folding my arms, but I'm listening to you. But she telling me I'm closing myself off.
Well, you are, because it's body language. I actually took a class in that, and that's what that means.
Yeah. Okay, if that's what it means. So I'm telling her I want to work it with my wife. Just in the next time we go. And both of them sitting over there with their arms folded. I say, now, what is this called? Y'all telling me my arm fold, I'm closing myself off. What is y'all doing?
That's true, but you made a good point. That's still, it's the same for everybody.
Okay, but me, I just have a habit of folding my arm. But I'm listening. Like now, whatever, you know, what y'all saying, I am listening. But, you know, people take things different way because I fold my arm. To me, that don't mean I'm not listening to you. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Because everybody, whatever you're saying, is need to be heard.
Right.
Whether good or bad. But what I'm going to do with it, that's a whole different story. And so then we left there, and, you know, she said she didn't want to talk. So I said, well, you pick somebody. So she picked this black girl. And I believe they knew each other. I don't know. But anyway, the girl would be on her side, and then the girl asked her, well, won't you leave? I said, won't you leave for a while and let the thing calm down? She telling the girl she ain't leaving. Then the next episode, the girl act like, I'm committing murder because I'm telling her we need counseling. And she said, well, I need to bring the pastor. Bring him. I can talk to anybody. I don't mind talking.
Right.
So if you don't mind talking, and like I tell you every time, as long as I'm telling the truth, if you want to know it, and we're in here for help, I'm not going to hold back. That's what we're there for, is to be honest.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. They don't want their dirt in the street. But they don't care about your dirt. But they don't want that part in it. They want you to keep yours hush-hush. That's all. That's it. But I don't care. If I did it, when I did wrong, I told her, she ain't never caught me doing anything wrong. She just know what I told her. And I said, now the ball is in your court. What you gonna do? What you want to do with it? Why did you do it? Da-da-da-da. That's why. So when y'all play this tit for tat, they don't. I mean, that's why I'm not doing it like that no more. And so is this who you are, or what is that? But, I mean, I'm not going to, because you go do something to me, I'm not going to do it back to you to try to get back because it don't work.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's what I ended up telling
them. The way to make it work is let it go.
Right.
Exactly.
Because I ended up telling them, I said, I don't care what a person does to me. Nobody's going to make me change who I am. Because if now I got to go do something because you did it to me, that's making me now change who I am. When I wouldn't have done that from the beginning. And I learned that a long time ago when I went through a situation. And that's what happened. But as you grow, you live and you learn. You know, we all go through certain things. And we don't realize that that's what we're doing.
Right. And that's what I done. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did. The first time I cheated, and this on everything I love, I thought I was gonna hurt us by going back to do it. And then after caught up in it. You know, you get in a sin, and after a while, it feels like it's normal. In the beginning, you always looking and worried about this. Then later on, it didn't matter. But then I thought about, you know, I don't want nobody to do that to me. I got to do what's right, regardless, because we got less days behind us than in front of us. So, you know, I got to live and do the right thing. When I get to heaven, God ain't going to ask me nothing about what she done.
You got that right.
What did I do?
And why you do it.
Right. And I got the answer too.
And he ain't gonna care nothing about you talking about somebody did something to you. Well, I told you to turn the other cheek now.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna say.
Not pay him back.
That's right. But what the human part does you say? Pay him back. But what do you say? Dust it off and keep moving.
So when you're in your truck and you have all this free time, what do you be thinking about?
Just how close I can get to God. I used to think, you know, what I need to do, what can I do to make this marriage better? Whatever way that can imagine to say to satisfy or whatever, I would try. Whatever. Then ask him, what do you want to do? What will make you even happier? What do I need to do? Everything good. But if it ain't good, don't say it's good.
But that's why I also told you it's bad behavior. But I also told you that's bad behavior because training, and I hate to keep using that word, but you training a person to be disrespectful and ill-mannered to you. That's what you training them to do. Because if I do something wrong and now you want to please me because I'm not happy, you training me to keep doing shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing shit because I'm going to get some attention.
Yeah.
Bad behavior should not be rewarded by any means. Like, no.
Right.
And again, like I've told you before, like, to me, even if she did hear it, and because she's welcome, I'm not judging, and I say stuff that I would say to her because I would want somebody to say it to me. If I was wrong because I'm just out doing a bunch of mess that I know, or I'm treating a person some type of way that I know is not the way you should be treating a person, somebody should tell me that. Like, why are you treating that man like that if that man does all these things for you? He pays bills. He's not out in the streets. He's not womanizing. He's doing all the things that he should do as a husband. Why would you treat him bad or treat him poorly? If a man is working 24/7 or he's out on the road 3 days out of a week and then he comes home, I'm going to have that man something to eat. I mean, even if you can't cook, I could put some chicken strips in the oven. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what you like.
A piece of bologna. Put some bologna. Fry it. Well, as long as it's coming from home, I don't care. Yeah.
So I don't think some of the things that you're asking for don't seem hard. It don't seem hard to do. So, and there's two sides to every story. So we don't have her side either.
Three sides. It's three sides.
Yep. And we don't have her side.
My side is true.
Because her perspective could be something else. Her perspective could be something way different that none of us thought about. And then it might make sense as to why you getting treated the way the fuck you getting treated.
Yeah. What I feel is the upbringing.
I don't think there's no excuse.
Yeah. I feel that's what it is. It's what you used to seeing. Because if you used to seeing it, you know, your whole life, you're going to probably feel that's just the way it's supposed to go. But she tell me all the time, it ain't you, it's me.
Well, that's what you're supposed to say. That's what I say to people when I brought to break up with them, and then I really don't want to deal with you, but it's not you, it's me. But really, motherfucker, it's you.
Yeah. Well, if it's me, tell me. All you gotta do is leave me. There would be no, I mean...
Does she still work?
No, she just said she got hurt on the job. She's been out of work now about 3 years.
So she retired?
I can't answer because I don't get no answer.
I mean, if she been out for 3 years, it's considered a medical retirement. I'm on a medical retirement.
That's a whole story. Didn't I tell you earlier today? You might as well go ahead and tell her, because I already told you. I said she gonna break it down to you, because what she told him is not true, and I told him Meg gonna tell you, because
why would you say it ain't true?
Why it's not true, sir?
Okay, James, let's have it.
Yeah, well, she said she got hurt on the job.
Talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
And, you know, for a while she did get she was getting a check, she said. So then she come back and say that she don't know what happened, that she don't call, she don't go to the doctor no more. And, you know, I'm going to ask a question, you know, what's up? You know, if you done quit, or you done got fired, but I know you got a 401k. Where is it? She say, well, the money, they say they sent the paperwork to the house we used to live in. And granted, we've been at this other house 18, 19 years. So they shouldn't have had a mix-up. But, okay. I said, well, if you got hurt on the job and they trying to hurt you, that would have got a lawyer for. We can get you a lawyer and do whatever. She won't talk about it. She said she ain't got no money. She don't get no check. They just nothing.
Well, she ain't talking about it because technically the statute of limitations done ran out. You only get 2 years.
Yeah.
So if she been home for 3, that ship done already sailed. How old is she?
50.
They gotta wait 4 more years, so that ship ain't came in yet. She can't get no retirement money until she turns 63. So the only thing that she should do is, right now, if she's been home for 3 years, what she should be on right now is Social Security disability.
She don't get none of that.
That's what I'm saying. If she been home for 3 years, a lot of people don't know what they're entitled to until they run across somebody who knows.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that's my situation. I got hurt when I was 42. I've been having shoulder surgeries after surgeries, and they came to the conclusion they couldn't fix it. So my job gave me a medical retirement after 2 years, because after 2 years you're declared disabled. She should go down to your local Social Security office, and she needs to file for Social Security.
Well, he don't know what she need to file for, because he don't know nothing about the lady.
I mean, you know something.
I mean, I just know what she tell me. I mean, like I told her, I asked her, I said, well, what would you do?
Well, no,
I mean, to be prepared. I mean, you need to be prepared.
Let's be clear.
Well, she might be fine, but
she's gonna be fine if you die, because you do got good insurance. But at the same time, you want to know why she don't up and leave. If she ain't working and she ain't got no income, she can't. Why she wants to try to make amends and try to smooth everything out in the marriage is because she needs to. But it's a coming to you. I mean, I'm not telling you go in the house all arrogant with your chest stuck out, but you gotta start saying it.
I told him to. Kick the door in, bitch. Like,
no, don't go in there with the picture. And first of all, say, oh,
yeah, that's what I told him. Hold on now.
And assert yourself as the provider that you are and the breadwinner to that household.
I told him he got rights.
There's a level of respect that a man deserves. when he's the head of the household and the primary breadwinner at the same time. You may see how fast things start changing if you put your foot out.
That's the same conversation we just had.
Throw it on the table and say, listen, I'm the breadwinner, and if it ain't for me, we ain't gonna eat no more bread up in here. So it's your chest and mean it. That's what you gotta do. Yeah. I mean, because you gotta think like this. You can step back and take time out for James, and James is gonna be fine. Why? Because James is the breadwinner. James is putting the meat in the refrigerator. Yeah. But if James is not receiving the love, the attention, the neatness, the meals, everything that James needs to fuel his body, mind, and spirit in order to go out to work, if I'm not happy, ain't nobody gonna be happy.
I know that's right.
And if I'm not eating at home, then the refrigerator might well be empty. Amen. Amen. You stock in a refrigerator that you can't eat out of. Yeah. And if you gonna cook, you ain't gonna cook the food. What's the purpose of storing it here? Hell, the grocery store got plenty. There you go. Stop treating your home like it's a storage unit. Right. I feel you. Yeah. That's it. Do not let her treat your home like it's a storage unit. You can't treat me like I'm your doormat. And I'm not part of Bank of America either. Right. So, if you didn't accumulate your pension at work, well, you're not her pension. You're not her banker. You're her husband. And you need to demand your place. And see what happens. I mean, it can't get no worse. You already got one foot out the door.
I said the same thing. You literally said what I said earlier. Did I not say that earlier?
Yeah. I was just saying, if you're already halfway out the door, things can't get no worse. Yeah. It could get better, though.
Exactly.
Then, I mean, she may not even realize, because 35 years is a long time, and she may not even realize that she's being ill-mannered, disrespectful, and she may want to change, but then again, she may not know how. Yeah. But I told her go talk to find an older couple and go talk to them. She ain't got what that woman said. No, she ain't got to find nothing. You could take her little hand this weekend. You're going home. I'll be there. I'm almost there now. Okay, get in there, get your little shower, get your little dinner, sit down, watch a little TV, and then after y'all get done listening, tell her, well, tomorrow I'm going to call up again, and I want you to be on here talking to us. Okay. And
I told her she can call in, yes.
She might be able to get something out of the conversation, too, because it's one thing to talk to a person and talk about it.
Yep.
Right. And so, if she can enter into the conversation, then there may be things that come across that, oh, I didn't think about it that way, or, oh, yeah, I can try that.
And nobody's against her.
It's not going to change overnight. That's not the goal. The goal is to change.
Yep.
When that change comes, who knows?
And that's what I told him. Nobody's against her. I would love to talk to her. But right is right and wrong is wrong. So if you're wrong, even, James, do I not tell you when you're wrong?
Yeah, you do. That's right, you do.
Because he's a little instigator. And I told him, he said something to her one day, and I said, the reason why she did that to you is because you really was looking for an argument. You worded that wrong. It sounded like you were coming at her instead of asking her a question. So instantly, if you ask me that, I'm going to come at you too. The way you worded it was not correct.
Yeah, you told me that. I forgot what it was, but you're right. Well, there is a whole segment that you did that should get your face slapped off. And I would love to be that conversation when she hears what you done said, because technically, I want to slap your face off for saying it, and I don't even know you.
What was it? What was it?
The segment about the kids, I didn't like. I felt like those kids are grown. Those kids have YouTube, and those kids may not know you, but they know of similar situations. But it's not so much as the public hearing about it as much as for you to have those feelings and carry them for that amount of years, and for you to still be able to say, I don't know if the children are mine, I got a problem with that.
Oh, well, he did say he said it in front of the kids, and remember, I asked him that.
I did not like that, because the kids are the innocent party, no matter what.
Right.
And you do what you gotta do at all times to protect the children. Even if you had those suspicions, and you and her voiced those suspicions in the past, to get on a podcast and share that thought process, that threw me off a little bit, because those kids are grown. I know some kids are on the internet.
Well, he said it in front of the kids. But that was my concern at that point, because I remember I asked you, James. I said, did the kids know that you thought that you weren't their father? And you said it one time in front of them, and that was the one thing I said. I said, I don't know if you should have done that, because that kind of, like, sometimes kids shouldn't hear adult conversations, but they were grown, I think you said, when you did that.
Right.
So they were adults.
Even as grown-ups, now you're playing with your kids' self-esteem level, because them kids were raised under the umbrella of you being their father. And for you to come out and say, I don't know if, now you done put that doubt in their minds, when as kids they probably didn't have any.
But it was honest. So what is he supposed to say?
It's not honest when you hurt your children. That's honesty that he should have between her and him. That's grown-up honesty. That's,
well, they are adults now, though. But they are adults now.
That's what I'm saying. Even though they're adults now, that's what I'm saying. The things you say to children when they're younger can play with their psyche as they age. And so, whereas these kids grew up thinking that he's their father, they didn't doubt whether, did the kids have any doubt whether you were their dad? I mean, this ain't something y'all throwed at each other when you got mad on Mad Sunday.
No. I didn't never bring it up.
The kids were raised thinking you were totally their dad.
Right.
Okay, and see how once they reach around what age did
they were probably in their, no, they was in their 20s, maybe 20s.
Oh, they don't. I thought maybe teenage years, but they was in their 20s. They didn't take no mind. They say you just talking to mom to piss you off.
And on top of that, that's kind of like.
But they know, regardless, like I told them, like we do have one son is not mine, but he is mine. So I've been there ever since he was 3. So regardless, like I told them, I have their back no matter what.
See, that's good.
They mine. I mean, they know that. Now, if it's some situation, I might not hear nothing from them all week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. As soon as something, they're going to call daddy to make sure what's going on.
And the other thing that
now,
I
the one
see,
that's my stepson, now he do better than mine. It ain't a day go by that he don't call to make sure I'm okay. But he knew, when he was a kid, that I wasn't his father. But his father never came and did anything with it, and I always treated him like he was mine. Always. He even his kids, my grandson. I'm his grandson. I told him, look, I gotta take y'all to meet y'all granddad. But y'all do have a granddad. Outside of me. And she got a little mad, but I believe that people should know their people.
That's true.
But they don't need to grow up and be messing with their first cousin and they don't know each other. And they're all right here together. Yeah, kids can't have too much love ever. It's a beautiful thing when they know each other. Right. So I just made sure that happened. But she was mad in the beginning, but in the end, you know, she wanted credit for it, but it's okay. But she got mad because she didn't want me to do it. I told her, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It don't matter how you feel about it. It ain't about you. If your baby was taken care of, so what do it matter?
I agree that kids should not be a part of adult conversations. But it's not dad's fault that mom was being a little loose. Because mom intentionally was being loose, and mom also intentionally didn't get no DNA test. So that's almost like a cover-up. So we're going to cover it up.
Wasn't around.
It was what?
DNA in the 60s. They didn't do DNA back then.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying that was also another issue, but as they got older and now it was able to be talked about, because I had a kind of a similar situation, but I explained as to why that happened and why it went down, because the person that was, you know, a father, I didn't want to be claimed as a father because you got bad behavior, and I don't want my son raised under those conditions. So women know what they doing. I knew that I didn't want that person to be able to have any type of effect or any bearing on my child's life. And the way that happened, like there was a situation that actually happened that led up to me being pregnant by that particular person. And so should we continue to keep covering up the fact that either certain things happen where, you know, it could be a situation where a person got raped or, you know, something else. So, no, we don't want that person being known for this, or we don't want that person around our children. But our kids still have a right to know later on what the circumstances were behind their birth. Not to continue to keep covering it up, because this happens with a lot of women. It's not just like, okay, the dad gets blamed, now he paying child support. Meanwhile, that ain't even your kid. So how long do you continue to keep trying to hide that or cover it up from the kids?
Well, I mean, really hiding something that you don't know.
Then you tell them that you don't know. Don't be saying that that's their daddy.
That's right.
It's the same exact fact. If you don't know, then you don't know. So don't say that you know. Because these kids is going to think, like you said, that that's their daddy. You don't know. You thinking, or you now named as the daddy, so you just say that I think that's your daddy.
That's what they tell them.
I think that's your daddy. I don't know if that's your daddy.
Otherwise, that's the thing. Back in the day, there was no proof otherwise.
Well, that's one of the things I say. Mama's baby, Papa's maybe. So I think that's your daddy.
And you know what the judge told Daddy when he came out with that foolishness? The judge said, well, she didn't tell you, look like...
Yeah, but that's really foolish, because guess what? If you need a kidney, you can't get it from this nigga if you go to the doctor, because now they're going to find out that, oh, that's not the person. When meanwhile, you could have figured out if Johnny down the street, before it's now 20 years later, was that baby daddy.
But see, when you need a kidney and you go to the hospital, everybody get tested for free.
But Johnny ain't around no more. Johnny to move because it was 60 years ago.
Some people ain't got no $1,500 to have no daggone tests ran, only to find out that that's your kid anyway, when you're going to go on with it whether it's yours or not.
Hey, well, that's the truth. And that was honorable. That's what I told him. That was very honorable, because at the end of the day, he still chose, those are my kids.
Yeah, I mean, it really ought to make a difference if you're going to be a stand-up guy and you're going to take care of them anyway.
Yeah, and he chose that. And I said that was a very honorable thing. But even still, then now that leads to another thing. You mean to tell me that a person was being honorable and you still took your hot ass out to do some shit?
Yeah. And it happened. And I'm going to give y'all an example for what you just said. I had a friend girl. She had, need that bone marrow, anything, whatever it was she needed from her daddy. So the woman said that was her daddy, come to the hospital to do it. Come to find out, he wasn't the daddy, and they didn't find it in time. She died. But if they had been honest, or the mama didn't want to tell who she thought was the daddy, or she just didn't know, and the girl ended up dying. But if you've been honest in the beginning, that girl might have been still here.
See what I'm saying? Now your kid did. Because you wanted to be...
That happened. That just happened probably about 10 years ago. It really did. And that's sad.
It is sad.
But that girl had to die because her mother wouldn't tell the truth. So she didn't want to look like a fool. She already looked like a fool. Because the baby... Well, the girl was a woman. She had a kid. But there's nothing nobody could do. The siblings couldn't give it to her.
Yeah, the man probably long gone. The man who was the baby daddy probably long gone. Don't even know where the man at.
Yeah. Now the girl died all because she couldn't get what she needed.
What she needed, not what she wanted. What she needed.
Needed, right. That's why I think you should know. I think now, since DNA is out there now, every baby that's born, the father should have it mandatory when you get a DNA. Well, it ain't mandatory, but you can ask for one, and it is free if you get it done the day of the birth. Yeah. Yes. So I think that's what they should, everybody. So, even now, go back. No, I ain't going to say that, because if I found out they ain't mine, I'd have been in a lot of trouble. But I mean, I can't change it. I just have to let them and keep going because I done did it this long.
Yeah, they yours at this point. Ain't no taking it back now.
No, at this point, it really don't make a major difference.
Right. Right. It ain't gonna matter. Because even grandkids, we got a couple that's what now, but they mine now. I've been there ever since they were born. Just because he was going, one of them was going with a girl.
Well, that's good. That's some good shit.
You invite her to the podcast because I think that she could possibly have a point of view that can actually be beneficial to both of y'all, because she may not want to talk to you, but she may want to participate in something that two other women have a voice in.
Yes, I agree. And I would love to have her.
I'm going to try, but I'm telling you. Well, she don't like nobody know her business, but I'm going to get on there.
Well, tell her we friends now, because I already know all her business. So we might as well be friends.
You make sure that it's understood that this is merely a conversation.
Yes.
She's not going to be attacked.
At all.
Nobody's talking down to nobody.
At all.
But at the same time, it's a learning experience for all of us. Because she's lived a different lifestyle than we have. We've lived a different lifestyle than she has. She has her own perspective. We have perspective. But as a collective, hopefully something positive could come out of it.
You said a mouthful, honey. And she's definitely welcome to come.
Can we commit to inviting her? James?
I think we lost him. You heard the railroad. Yeah, because...
if he can commit to watch the videos and then invite her, that would be awesome.
Oh, well, I think he's still there. There you go.
I mean, I put it on. The train was coming by.
I was going to say, I heard the train, and then I didn't hear anything.
Yeah,
Tomorrow, if you call me, I'll take and invite him because he might need a perspective too, so he could be a better husband to his wife. Cause this morning he don't know how he made me. Don't get me crazy. Got a woman at home to put up with a bunch of foolishness, and you still got there to talk crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Well, that one thing I think that we need, that is the most important thing, is everybody has to learn to be respectful of each other in the relationship. And that's where sometimes I think that communication is broken down because it's being disrespectful. Y'all being disrespectful. And y'all can, we can all work through anything if we talk about it.
Right. That's it.
And sometimes we might not always agree. That's fine too. But we still have to have an open door of communication in order to work things out.
Right.
So with that being said, we are 2 hours now into this conversation. And I totally appreciate you guys for coming on and giving me y'all's great perspective, and totally enjoyed this conversation. And I look forward to having more with you guys if you would like to come back.
I really thoroughly enjoyed this. It's therapeutical.
I agree.
And I appreciate you. That's it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because sometimes we just need to bounce it off of other people to work through our own. And like I said, I'm not a therapist, but I felt like this was a great platform to have everyone talk about their situation, especially because I was going through my situation. And at first I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just kind of dealing with it and trying to figure out like how to navigate my way through it myself. And then I'm like, once I started trying to open up to people, and people were like, you actually bring a very positive perspective to that. Because one of the things was, because I wanted to be married to my best friend, and I actually got a chance to do that, so I could check that off my list. And I'm okay with the way it happened and the way things are going. And people were saying, well, how are you going to trust somebody to love them ever again if that was the one person that you wanted to be with, this, that, and the third? And so my response was, the person that's designed to love me hasn't shown up yet. So, of course, when that person shows up, I'm going to love them 10 times more than I've ever loved anybody else. Like, I'm open to love. I would never close myself off to loving a person or to allowing somebody to love me. And it made a whole lot of sense to me. I didn't know if it made sense to anybody else, because people look at me like I'm strange when I say that. But at the end of the day, like, why would I not want to give that person 110% of myself? People end up bitter and jaded behind loving. And that's what one of the people said to me. They said, I'm shocked that you would say that, because most people would end up bitter. No, I don't want to spend the rest of my life by myself. I want to spend my life with a person. My person. The person that God sent here for me. Why would I not? So that's the reason why I actually started this whole entire YouTube podcast, sit down, let's have a conversation. And plus, we always talking about it anyway. Like, I'm always talking to somebody about a relationship. I'm always talking to somebody about spiritual healing. I'm always talking about holistic, like, this is my life. So why not help more people? I'm helping one person. Why can't we just talk about it to help somebody else? Because somebody else might hear it and say, okay, wow, that was great. And they get a better understanding. And I don't know everything, so I need to add some extra people to it. So what do y'all think? Like, so I figured it would be great to have that. A great dialogue about life, love, and relationships. We deal with it every day. Whether it be from the kids to just general stuff, let's talk about it. So, again, thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All righty. So, see you guys on the next episode of Love, Life, and Relationship. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go with God.